Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Korpi, and I'm the Director in Career Services. And I just wanted to talk to you today really quick to be able to give you some background on the Construction Management and Technology Career Fair happening later this week, Thursday, September 22nd, the virtual option happening between 9 a.m. and noon, and the in-person event taking place from 1 to 4 p.m. What I really wanted to focus on is the actual virtual fair. I think a number of you probably are familiar or are less intimidated by the in-person event, just from the standpoint that it's something maybe you've seen before. And the virtual option is maybe a little more nerve-wracking, but I can tell you it's a really good idea to check out anyway, just because it gives you practice. Virtual recruiting has a place, in the world, especially post-COVID. And it gives you a chance to connect with employers you wouldn't ordinarily get a chance to connect with because they can't travel for whatever reason to the in-person event. And the other thing that's really cool is in some cases there's overlap of companies that are attending that are also attending the in-person, but this gives you a chance to meet with them in an individual session if they offer them, where you can talk to them and you don't have to compete with anybody else who might approach the table at the same time during an in-person fair. You have that dedicated time if you sign up for an individual session. It's just you and the employer. The other thing that's kind of cool is the offerings that they have in the virtual fair. They actually offer group sessions that might be special topic areas. So in one case, one of the employers you'll see actually has something set up where they're talking about a gap year in construction. And so it might be interesting. There might be some topics that are of interest to you, and we want to make sure you feel comfortable and confident going in. You have some amazing faculty that are really supporting you through this process. We are here for you too. And we're just very excited for you because this is always such a great and important opportunity for you to have wonderful career and professional development. So I'm going to jump into a screen share so that you can see a little bit more about the virtual job fair opportunity. Sincerely, do not be intimidated. It is not as terrible as it may seem. So what you're seeing is obviously my NMU. That's where you're actually going to go to get to Handshake in most instances. If you've never gone to Handshake before, the first time you do log in, it's going to ask you some information, but all it's trying to do is tailor your account. And it's only going to do that maybe once a year, but it's basically just looking to stay updated because it does customize the content that you see. So when you get to My NMU to get to Handshake, you'll go to the Student Services tab, you'll go over to Additional Student Resources, and you'll click on the Handshake button. So when you get to Handshake, the main landing page is going to look kind of like this, but everybody's account is a little bit different based on their background, their major, their experience, what they've indicated interest in, if they've saved any particular employers, things like that. So just know that your account might look a little different. Obviously, for the functions of this program, it looks a certain way, but this is what it should look like on the main page. So to get to the job fairs, you'll go to Events, and you'll click there. And then you'll see the filters up at the top, sort of in the middle. We're going to filter for career fair just because it'll make life a little bit easier. You could filter for virtual since that's what we're trying to look at today, but there's virtual recruiting events that aren't job fairs. So we want to make sure that we're seeing the most relevant thing, and what we're looking for is a career fair. So you'll see there are several fairs listed here. Our fall semester job fair coming up in another month or so. And then we were invited by the University of Michigan to attend their Law Day event as well. But for the purposes of today's video, we're going to click on that virtual job fair. So when we click on it, just like any other job fair, you're registering for a fair that you want to attend. But in the case of the virtual fair, you do have to select sessions to attend. You won't get to experience any interaction with employers if you don't. So that's something that's different, and some people don't realize until maybe last minute, or they maybe don't follow through with the whole process to get rolling with a virtual fair, and then they're kind of bummed out because they miss out. So when you get onto this landing page, you'll see all the overview information about the fair, right up to the employers attending. There's a sampling listing here, but there's also a place that you can click and you can see all of the 19 employers that have registered for the in-person or for the virtual fair. This may, as I might have mentioned already, there may be some overlap, some employers that are attending both, but in a lot of cases, there's several folks that are not attending the in-person event and are strictly attending the virtual. So this opens up or broadens the access you have to employers. The nice thing about clicking on all the employers and kind of looking at what they're about is you can actually see information about those employers. You can see what their background of their company is, any jobs they might actually have actively posted. how that might align with your current and long-term career goals if they offer positions that kind of align with what you want to do in the full-time role. You can also see things like, what if anybody has provided reviews or shared any information on the interview process or any questions that they were asked in the interview process. You can find contact information for recruiters if there's a public staff listing, lots of really good stuff. So this is a great place to start and kind of dig around. And that's true for any employer that we have in Handshake. You can actually peek and look at the details on any employer, not just the ones attending fairs, but this is a great place, obviously, to get the relevant information on the people that you're going to be having an opportunity to connect with, online and in person. You can do the same thing for the in-person event. So the other thing you want to see is that there's three tabs that you can click on. There's the Your Schedule, Available Sessions, and the Career Fair Details. We're currently on the Career Fair Details. Until we register and actually sign up for sessions, it's going to be a little bit harder for us to see much information over here. So if you look at this and you say, boy, I really like the idea of working with several of these employers, I'd like to give it a try and see what they're about, you could go ahead and register just like you do for the other fairs. So you click register, and the next thing that's going to happen is it's going to prompt you to sign up for sessions. Strongly encourage you to do this today, or not maybe today if you're not in the middle of signing up, but obviously the day in which you register. You want to snap up those sessions that are going to be of interest to you, and they may be limited. But the other thing is you may forget, and then day of you're scrambling to schedule sessions, not thinking through the fact that you're rushed and you're just trying to be successful. So signing for sessions in advance and making sure that you're prepared and ready, noting those times and being there for those sessions. Good plan. So start here and click on viewing those employer sessions. So then what will happen is you'll see those that you have access to because of your background and credentials, that you're kind of falling in the area of the recruiter's interest. So for what's coming up for me is the St. Bernard Project is one of those options. So I'm going to look at the St. Bernard Project and I'm going to look at their summary and I'm going to think, okay, well, maybe I'm interested in this. So I can see that they offer several different sessions. I can either join one of 10 open individual sessions that would be 10 minutes long. And that gives me a chance to talk to the recruiter one-to-one. Or I can choose one of the 2 group sessions they're also hosting. And one is titled Gap Year in Construction, the other Construction Entry-Level Opportunities. So I can either get a special topic or I can hear about the opportunities that this company has. So if I decide St. Bernard Project looks like something I'd like to try out, I can click on the one-on-one with St. Bernard Project. I can see the recruiter and I can see the times that are available. And then I can also see a little bit of information about that company. So this is kind of cool, especially in the case that there's multiple recruiters. Maybe you've been talking with one in particular and you're hoping to connect with them on the day of this event. You could select them. Or if maybe I want to do a one-on-one, but Andrea's 9 a.m. is taken and that's my only free time, I might be able to find another recruiter within that listing who could meet with me at 9 a.m. as well. So you'd select whatever sessions that you wanted to join, and then you can click on Your Schedule and you can see those sessions that you have signed up for. Now, just so you know, obviously I have not signed up for sessions. So this will populate obviously when you do. I don't want to confuse anybody. I'm not applying. I don't want to take your spots, obviously. But if you ever want to go back and see available sessions, you can go back. So you don't miss your opportunity just because you don't click on that button when you first registered. And you can always go back to the Career Fair Details if you want to see information there. On the day of the event, you will have one of 2 options. As I said, you'll join by your schedule, or you'll actually have a banner on your dashboard that will say, go to your schedule. You can click on that. It's going to fast forward you into your schedule for that fair. Something to keep in mind too is the way that, the audio and the visual portion of this works. So when you go to join the fair, you'll go to your schedule and there will be a join video button that you can click. When you click that, you're going to have a chance to check your audio and video settings and then click this join now. Now I've gone to a help article that you can find by the Handshake Help Center. And these articles are linked on our website at Career Services, or you can go to the Handshake Help Center and we'll provide you those links along with this video. Some other things that you should know is if you're having any difficulty having your space set up in a way that you're confident, so your background, looks good for interviewing. Just know that there is a blur function on Handshake, just like Zoom, but you will have to be using Chrome as your web browser. The other thing to know is that obviously having your camera up is a big deal. People can see you engage with them, and they can connect with you better when they can see you visually. It can be awkward when, and you probably know this because you've probably been on a Zoom where you can't see the other person, but you're talking to them and you're kind of like, this is awkward. You don't want that. You want to engage with the person as you would, as close to the in-person experience as you can. And so that having your video up is really important. And obviously you're going to need your microphone, but it's a very similar setup. You can screen share in some cases. The employer might have shut that function off for observers who are attending the group sessions and things, but just make sure that you have you know where the buttons are and you use them appropriately for the event. So our website I had mentioned has a spot where we actually are dedicated to providing you some background on what the job fair functions look like. So if you're on our main page, you'll see that we do have the scrolling carousel of images, and in that carousel actually there is a presentation for the career fair where you'll see there. But you'll also see that you can click on students and alumni. There's a job fair tab, and then you'll see the fair listed, but you'll also see, if you scroll down, a section that says navigating virtual fairs, and there's a whole list of how-to there as well. So no reason to be nervous or scared. This will be a great experience. When it comes down to your actual experience on Handshake, one last thing I want to mention is you do want to pay attention to your privacy settings to participate fully in the fair. So you'll go to, in the upper right-hand corner of your account, there's either an image, a profile picture that you've uploaded, or there's just your initials, a round button you'll click on to deal with your settings. So you'll click there, there'll be a drop down, you'll click on settings, and then when you scroll down, you'll see a section that says privacy. And that's where you'll want to click community, because that's going to give people access to your profile. It also will allow them to see a resume that you've made visible to the public. So if you have a specific construction management or technology related resume that you want people to see, then that will be made public or made visible by selecting community and making that individual document visible. Beyond that, you guys, I am just excited for you. It's a great opportunity to connect with employers and to even just practice and tell people what you're all about. If you have any questions, or you're nervous, or you just want some additional support, we're here for you. There is an appointment function. If you click on Career Center, you can actually select either me, Walker, or Grant in our office to meet with one-to-one and talk about anything that makes you nervous. Look at your resume, practice an elevator pitch or build one, practice interview skills, anything you're preparing for from your career and professional development, we're here for you. So you can do that through Handshake appointments, or you can call our office, email us, any of that. And if you're just having trouble with the fair and navigating things, you can contact us that way too. You can call us 906-227-2800 or email us careers@nmu.edu. Thanks so much, you guys, and good luck.